That to me is one of the successes, because these are very, very high level members of the organization of the Lake Tanganyika Authority. There were some decisions that were made. One of the decisions was the governments committed themselves to meeting their commitments which were made in 2008 to make contributions to the Lake Tanganyika Authority. We want to make sure that the resources of the lake and the basin are not depleted. So in order for us to do that, we need resources, we need the support from not only our government, from our development partners. And I would like to take advantage of this opportunity to call upon our partners, be it national, regional, international, to work with us so that we can begin to effectively address this challenge of managing the resources sustainably. Welcome and opening ceremony of the agenda for the 5th Conference of Ministers Ordinary Meeting. Having received our heads of delegation for this meeting and the guest of honor, it is now my rare privilege and honor to call upon the host minister.
Our task as ministers responsible for environmental matters is to provide the leadership that will ensure that appropriate actions for sustainable management of lake and its basin are in place.
L'édification d'un vaste programme sur la gestion durable du lac Tanganyika, un écosystème très connu dans le monde entier, de par sa qualité de grands réservoirs d'eau douce, avec une richesse en diversité biologique incomparable et un potentiel économique évident.
As you know, the lake has great potential to meet a diversity of social, economic, and developmental needs of the riparian states.
Cela fait maintenant quelques années que nous conjuguons ensemble les efforts sur la mise en œuvre du programme régional d'aménagement et de développement intégré du lac Tanganyika.
The Lake Tanganyika and the 4 riparian states can look back at an over 40 years long history of FAO involvement in fisheries issues.
Intellectually, I had understood quite a while ago how important it is to find good cooperation mechanisms and good programs in order to sustainably manage this beautiful Lake Tanganyika.
The Lake Tanganyika is a very variable shared resource that indeed plays a major role in the economies of the riparian countries.
All of us here have this one interest: to protect and conserve the biological diversity and ensure the sustainable use of the natural resources of the Lake Tanganyika and its basin.
This is a very interesting arrangement where there are 4 of us ministers who rotate. This is significant in that the 4 of us have to remain united. As countries, we all have a contribution to make, and as countries, we have to cooperate and make sure that the journey that we have started, we achieve it. And then it will have a multiplier effect on the people that sent us to Parliament, the people that we represent. I thank you and enjoy the chair.
When we are talking of the long-term sustainability of the natural resources in Lake Tanganyika and its basin, it implies strengthening the efforts to make sure that the communities surrounding the lake, they play a participatory role in implementing different activities aimed at the long-term sustainability of the natural resources.
Les défis à relever, c'est quoi? C'est restaurer l'environnement idéal du lac Tanganyika. Bien sûr, en faisant une vulgarisation, en faisant une conservation et en empêchant la pêche illicite. Et tout cela, on a mis en place maintenant, pendant cette réunion, on va adopter le plan d'action stratégique du lac Tanganyika.
Item 8. So we discussed together with item 8. Agreed?
So all the decisions we took, the issue of, how we employ our staff, the issues of how we've put a strategy in place in terms of implementation strategy, the fundraising, the issue of our own contribution, reminding ourselves that we need to be committed to our contributions is key. Ensuring that each country has an action plan, because it's we cross-fertilize. What happens in Zambia affects what happens in Burundi. What happens in Burundi affects what happens in Congo, and so on. So we want to desist from making decisions that benefit a country, but decisions that benefit the sum total of the 4 countries.
Les décisions alors qui sont prises sont profitables, que ce soit d'un pays ou un autre. Dans le cas où nous avons encouragé les pays à terminer les plans d'action stratégiques, quitte à ce que dans le futur on puisse mobiliser le financement pour la continuation du développement futur de notre lac Tanganyika.
An element of good decision making is one where people have a chance to freely select their leaders, to really freely choose their leaders, and which cuts across all gender.
For Tanzania, the best practices is that we have formed environmental and natural resources management committees, and we have said the membership is 15 members per each village. We have 6 villages, so we say half women, half men should come into this committee, and their role is basically to formulate bylaws for the village, that you should not cut tree. If you cut tree, these are the penalties, and they enforce them. Okay, so the women get to understand also, because they are actually the ones that are mostly affected by environmental degradation. You know why? If there's environmental degradation, it means women walking 5 kilometers to go and get water, to go and get firewood and stuff like that. So they're brought on board, they're part of the decision-making process, and at a village level, it's working very, very well.
Polluting the lake is something awful, since it is a matter of food security, because the fishing is something important. But today, what we call mukeke in our country is disappearing because of pollution.
Si ce lac était un être humain, il aurait déjà été hospitalisé aux urgences. Le lac Tanganyika est malade, pour plusieurs raisons. C'est-à-dire qu'il y a d'abord le caprice de la nature, changement climatique. On n'y peut rien. Il y a le phénomène El Niño qui a fait monter la température, qu'est-ce que nous avons fait pour cela? Oui, il y a une part humaine. Lorsqu'on dit que le lac Tanganyika est un lac où le poisson meurt de vieillesse, ça, moi j'appelle ça une idée reçue qui résiste non seulement au bon sens, mais également au temps. Il y a longtemps qu'on entend ça. Mais ce n'est pas vrai. Parce que quand vous capturez massivement les alevins, les juvéniles ne sont plus nombreux. Et tout cela a fait que le lac n'est plus cette mer nourricière qu'il était il y a quand nous étions des petits enfants.
Fisheries and environmental protection, we participated in the tour that the 4 countries undertook in East and West Africa to learn the experiences of other countries. We have continued to involve ourselves in reforestation programs in both districts. We have continued to mobilize, make people aware of our activities in all the villages, sensitization programs, and infrastructure. Up to this moment, we hadn't started yet to have any constructions in our programs because we hadn't yet received no objections from the bank to start. But we have now received no objections, so we should be able to start building as soon as contracts have been signed between GRZ, the Government of the Republic of Zambia, and the successful bidders that bidded for the works to be done.
I have even more understood how essential it is to have a central governing body who deals with the concerns of this extremely beautiful lake. It's the first time that I see how beautiful it is, and while intellectually I understand, of course, what it is all about, of course the emotions actually are supporting this understanding when I see how beautiful it is and how proud the people are about it. And so coming to this meeting right now and seeing that there is this established body and that there are the participating governments who actually make their voice heard and say of what they are worried and concerned about and how they want to deal with it.
Commitments have been made. The challenges are we going to mobilize enough resources in order for us to be able to implement the strategic action program? That's a big challenge for us. The other challenge is how do we sustain the operations of the organization on a long-term basis? This is a challenge, and I see that the commitments that the governments are showing suggest that they are willing to address these issues.
It is very important that we engage with the people on the ground, those who really have the knowledge, because we also often know that the people who live around the coast and how to deal with it, they are experts. We just need to help them then to systematically bring in their views and profit from their expertise, and then feed that back to the central level where we also have lots of expertise, and make sure that that is used in a proper manner, and that the LTA should actually also use their information.
The Strategic Action Program is a very important program for us because it spells out the priorities for our implementation of activities in order to sustainably manage the biodiversity of the Lake Tanganyika and the basin. So that endorsement is a very, very important development. So we are very, very happy, and those are some of the major decisions that have been made at this 5th Ordinary Meeting.